2 days later, April the 11th, 1959, and we are at the Montreal Forum getting set for Game 2 of the Stanley Cup Final after the Leafs lost Game 1. And this team haven't been able to find that, but Paul Patsko and Mark Askin, who worked diligently putting these shows together, have managed to get this kind of in order, and we're going to show you portions of the second and third period. As we go to it, Tom Johnson has scored for Montreal in the first period, and it's 1-0 in favor of the Montreal Canadiens. Let's go to second period action.
And now just about ready for the start of period number 2, Canadiens leading 1-0. Stanley has 2 seconds remaining in his penalty, and Brewer a minute and 50 seconds. Bauer out, cleared it, knocked down by Morris, reshot, and he missed that far corner. Stanley is back on the ice for the Leafs. Back at the point, Johnson clearing it back into Henry Richard, over to Boom Boom Geoffrion going in. Loose puck in front of the net, Bauer down flat on his stomach. And he saved the day with Moore racing in there. So Canadiens go to the attack quickly as this second period opens. They had the advantage of 2 players for just about the time it takes to drop the puck for 2 seconds, and then Stanley got back on. But now Brewer is still off, and he has a minute and 32 seconds remaining in his penalty. Dickie Moore on the board, centered it back to Morris, Richard. No, he missed the far corner on that. Dickie Moore centering it out in front of the rock, and a roll to the goal mouth, and again Bauer down, and he holds on. With the 2 Richards that time, right in on top of him. Canadiens won, and the Leafs no score in the second period. Back to Morris Richard, who went through his skate. Geoffrion, number 5, back in his own territory. He leaves it for Henry Richard, starting out this time with Geoffrion, who takes it. Moore and the Rocket are up there, too, going to the Leaf line. A drop pass, and it's flipped to center by Stewart. Moore is back for it. A pass to Geoffrion. Going in with the pocket to Henry Richard. He overskates it, goes to the corner, bumped by Stanley. Hofer trying to get possession. He does on the left wing. Out at center with Stewart. Pass to Stewart, takes the shot right on, just above the knee. Now then Moore. A long pass to pocket Richard. He couldn't hold it. Hofer back to Horton. Horton clearing it down. And it goes in among the Canadian players over on the far side, and we played a minute and 18 seconds in this, the second period. .32 seconds remaining on Brewer, and there he is. Duff is on with Armstrong. And Bonnet comes out on left wing for the Canadiens. Moore moves to right wing. Pocket Richard at center. Talbot on defense with Johnson. A pass to Moore, and it goes to Bonnet. Broken up quickly by Horton. Now Talbot waiting for his teammate to get back onside. To Moore, back to Johnson. Johnson up on the left wing. Here's Bonnet going in against Horton into the corner. They take each other out, and Duff comes up with it for the Leafs. Duff out over the line, stick handling neatly, going to the Canadian line, lost it to Johnson. Henry Richard racing to center. Stanley cleared it to Armstrong on the right side. Brewer is back on. Now got the pocket Richard. Brewer runs into him and cleared it on the boards to center. Johnson for Canadiens to Bonnet. Toward the corner, and Stanley fires it out to Brewer, number 18, waiting for Duff to come up. Brewer across the line, over to Duff. Duff centering it, and it's taken back into the corner. Comes around the net to the other side. Creighton, number 24, jumps on the ice. Pocket Richard got away from him. Out at center, and the pass on left wing was away off the mark. Down the ice. All for icing, Montreal Canadiens. As we mentioned just before the start of the game, Larry Regan is not playing for the Leafs tonight because of his broken hand. Punch Imlock said yesterday after the Leaf practice that he didn't intend to use Regan until the Leafs got into what he termed really crucial game. But Regan will be on with Tom Foley at the end of the second period. He'll tell you all about that hand.
Andre Pronovost cuts out of his own zone at center. Flips to one, a long one for Bauer.
Brewer at the side of the net, played it off to the other corner, and it's Armstrong taking over for the Leafs. 1-0, the Canadiens are leading the Maple Leafs in the second period with Armstrong at center. Takes the shot off Harvey's stick. Goes to Armstrong again as he was bumped by Harvey, and now Provo out fast. And oh, he was hit by Duff. Duff going off for charging. He sent Provo flying as he skated across the ice. 2 minutes and 58 seconds, the time of the charging penalty to Duff of the Maple Leafs. Marshall, Backstrom, Morris, Richard, Jeffrey-On, and Harvey. Holford and Stewart up front. Now the Rocket is coming in, turns around, gives it to Donnie Marshall. Marshall turning, cleared it in front, and Vaughn backhands it down the ice. Doug Harvey skates after it. On defense for the Leafs, Vaughn and Brewer. Jeffrey on a right wing pass, swings out over the line at center. Across the line, a hard shot, cleared by Bauer. Leafs trying to clear it out. Now here's Backstrom going in, takes the shot, Rocket Richard is off on a sharp angle. Backstrom on the boards, around the net, it goes to the corner. Brewer against Morris Richard. Now down on the left wing, and Harvey back in his own zone again. Skates leisurely in front of Plant. Up it goes to Donnie Marshall. Marshall gives it to Backstrom in on the Leaf line on the right side. He digs fast. Now he's cutting around the net, getting set to center it. Now he gets it out to Morris Richard. It couldn't hold it. He falls down. Out over the line it comes. Jeffrey-On coming back in with Backstrom. Jeffrey-On the left wing to Donnie Marshall. He shoots it, and Bauer down. Saves on the rebound. Vaughn and Morris Richard tied each other up. Johnny Bauer, who played so tremendously well through the first two periods in the opening game here Thursday night, coming up with another very fine performance for the Maple Leafs. And he has been tested many times tonight, quite a bit more than Jacques Plante. The shots were 12-6 at the end of the period. Plante has handled only one so far here in the second. And there are 47 seconds remaining in the penalty to Duff. Canadiens are leading the Leafs 1-0. Goal by Johnson. Horton turns on the boards at the point. Cleared back in by Johnson. Goes to Bonin. Over to Jeffrey-On. Jeffrey-On passes it and goes to the corner. Now back to Johnson at the point again. Into the corner off the boards. Horton of the Leafs. Jammed in on the boards by Bonin. They both fall down. Stewart working on the right side. Cleared it. Not out. And it was flipped ahead with the gloved hand of defenseman Johnson to Bonin. And is called back for that infraction. 26 seconds now remaining in the penalty to Duff. We're nearing the 5th minute mark in the period. Holford on the boards, clears it down the ice. And Johnson back after it. Being watched by Stewart and Fulford. Johnson's pass knocked down by Stewart. It cleared it back in. And Johnson, number 10, for the Canadiens again. Swinging in front of the net. Pass goes to Pocket Richard. The penalty has expired. Now Duff is back on. Takes the left wing pass at the Canadian line. Shoots it off to the corner. Talbot playing it on the boards to Bonin. Bonin couldn't get anywhere against Duff. Duff in on the Canadian line on the left side. And Talbot takes over as it cuts around the net. Up on the boards it goes to the point. Horton knocks it down, shoots it back. Off Johnson's shoulder. It's cleared out. Bonin couldn't get away. And Stanley fires it back. Now Pocket Richard to Bonin to Moore across the Toronto line. A backhand drive on the target. And Horton bumped into the goalie as Horton was being checked by Bonin.
Going into this series, the Canadiens were established as 4-1 favorites, and despite having won the opening game, the odds have not changed. They are still 4-1 favorites to win the Stanley Cup, and in tonight's game, they are 2-goal favorites to win over the Leafs.
Back to the point to number 11, Turner. He slides his shot off Stanley's skate. Provo backhands it in front, and Goyette was out of position. Horton out over the line. A long pass. Hers tips it in over the line. Goes to the corner against Provo. Hers falls down. Now Canadiens, Pronovo, out over the line, and his pass to Provo's away off the mark. Stanley slapping it on the boards. Goyette leaves it for Provo. Over to Goyette, in on the line, back to Provo. He flipped it high. It goes to the corner. Pronovo out of the play. He is taken by Eamon. Back it goes to Turner. The shot right on, and Bauer covers up with Phil Goyette going in and tapping. The Stanley Cup, symbolic of World Professional Hockey Championship. That's Big Mahovlich you see standing there, talking to Bauer. Is a coveted old trophy, the Stanley Cup. Cost originally $48, and now we have the original cup as the bowl-shaped top of the present trophy. So Stanley Cup final series particularly are always very dramatic affairs. Many thrills. And the tension is great, as is the case here in this game tonight. Back it goes to Turner, takes the shot off Vaughn, a backhand drive, and Goyette almost tipped it in. A backhand shot across the goal mouth. Here's Provo from the corner. He clears it right in front, gets it back again. A pass, and the Leafs Mahovlich over on the wing. It goes to Eamon, cutting in on the right side, and the shot bounces to the side off Harvey's stick, and Plot almost went down. Now they jam. They send it right out in front to Harris. Here it goes to Brewer. Brewer to Harris over his stick at the side of the net into the corner. Pronovo turning in there for Canadiens. Back it comes to Big Mahovlich. He works back toward the corner. Provo takes him out of the play. Harris taking it away from Harvey. Now to the other side, and Turner from Montreal gets away from Mahovlich. At center to the Leaf line, in on the left side. Jammed out of the play by Mahovlich, by Eamon. And it's Brewer in the corner against Goyette, who centered it back, and Eamon out to Mahovlich. At center to the Canadian line, in on the left side. Shot, hit a stick, it's centered out again. And the Canadiens, Turner, clearing at the center ice. There's Mahovlich taking the pass, swinging away from Turner and Goyette. Now it goes back to Eamon. Eamon, number 17. Leaves it on the right side for Vaughn, who is bodied. The puck goes to the corner. Pronovo taken in on the boards by Harris, and Harvey get in there with that extra shot. Creighton into the corner. Backstrom trying to tie him up. Johnson for Canadiens playing it on the board. Jeffrey on starting up on the right wing to Backstrom. Backstrom at center to the Leaf line. Dumps the bouncing shot. The rebound. And Creighton cuts behind the net. Laid it out on the right wing. Armstrong down fast. Creighton is trailing on the play. Armstrong couldn't get away. Now he gets it again. And he almost cleared it in front. It's going to be a penalty here. Talbot, I think, for hooking. Big Armstrong stayed with that puck. And although he couldn't control it, he got in there close and was instrumental in Talbot putting out the stick and hooking. And as a result, the Leafs now have the odd man advantage. Jean-Guy Talbot, number 70.
Canadien penalty, Jean-Guy Talbot, 2 minutes for hooking. The time, 8 minutes and 25 seconds.
8 minutes and 25 seconds, the time of the hooking penalty to Talbot of the Canadiens in the second period. And it's 1-0. With Montreal leading by virtue of a goal at 5:12 in the first period. Johnson from Pocket, Richard, and Moore. Brian Cullen, number 14. He's out there for the first time tonight. Stanley over on the other side of Horton, who cleared it off the boards. Now Barry Cullen. Barry Cullen into the corner to Duff. Duff Horton this side. He centers it. A rolling puck. And it's Marshall getting the opening and shooting it down the ice. We have the Cullens, Barry and Brian, number 19 and 14 respectively, up front with Duff. Stanley and Horton on the points. Leafs of the odd man advantage. It's Horton. The pass on the right side goes to Barry Cullen offside.
Some fans may wonder at Punch Imlock's strategy in putting the two Cullens out on the power play when they haven't played previously tonight. I think we might mention that both Brian and Barry have had very, very good success in games against Canadians, not only this season but in other seasons, and it would appear that Punch was trying to see if they had any more goals in those sticks, but he's changed them now and put out Eamon, Mahovlich, and Olmsted on his front line.
And he's got the extra forward on the point this time, Armstrong. Johnson breaks it up. It's Brewer in control for the Leafs on the left side, going to the Montreal line, and the pass neatly stopped by Marshall. Marshall coming up on the right side, jammed into the play by Armstrong. Ahead to Mahovlich. He swings in on the line, puts on the brakes, the shot, it's wide. The rebound to Eamon, a shot, and he hit the side of the net. Here's Olmsted trying to center it back to Brewer at the point. Brewer going in for the screen shot right in front, and it's grabbed by Harvey. Now Harvey clearing it down the ice. And Harvey playing another outstanding game for the Canadiens, as he did in that first game on Thursday night. Now Brewer away on the right side at center. In beautifully, away from Harvey. Goes to the corner now against Turner. Eamon trying to center it. Puck is tied up. Brewer and Harvey shove each other. Young Carl Brewer is a hockey player who gets tensed up and nervous, not only on the day of a hockey game, but according to Carl himself, he loves his game so much that he is tense from the beginning of training until the season is over in the spring. And has a great future, as we mentioned on our broadcast on Thursday night. 35 seconds remaining in Talbot's penalty. Marshall and Turner, the penalty killers for the Canadiens, and they have done a great job throughout the entire year in that capacity for Montreal. Turner fulfills that duty, as well as taking his regular turn on defense. Harvey had gone to the Canadian players' bench to get a new stick. Now he skates back to take up his position with Johnson. Stanley and Horton are playing up. The Canadiens are shorthanded. They lead in the game 1-0. Now the puck comes right in front. It's loose still. Mahovlich's trying to get it. He's knocked down, and Marshall, a right wing pass to Turner down to the Toronto line. Puts on the brakes in over the line. Back to Doug Harvey. Harvey back to Turner. Turner taking his time at center. Still has it. Back near his own line. Over on the other side to Marshall, and the Canadiens have that defensive pattern going. Marshall now fires it into the Toronto zone. Talbot is back on as Stanley back in his own zone to get it for the Leafs. A long pass to Olmsted over to Mahovlich. Mahovlich down in on the left side. Still has it. And finally Bonnet to Henry Richard. In on the Toronto line. A drop pass to Dickie Moore going in for the shot. Off the stick, and it's grabbed by Bauer. And we've played 10 minutes and 40 seconds in the second period.
Looked like a dangerous play, but a deflection of Moore's wrist shot made it a simple play for Bauer, one of his easier plays of the night. And he's had a lot of work down there. He'll be close to 26, 27 shots by the end of this period.
Canadians every man up to the faceoff. Leafs cleared. Horton knocking it on the boards to Creighton. Creighton trying to get away. Gets it out over the line, and pockets Richard. Skates back to his line. Dickie Moore cleared it in. And it's Horton, number 7 for the Leafs. Coming out. Moore stopped him. Moore backhands the neat pass ahead to Henry Richard, working in on the right side from the corner. Centers it. Bonnet picks up the loose puck. He centers it right in front. And Horton was there to grab it for the Leafs. To Armstrong on the right side. He couldn't get out. Now here come the Canadiens. Dickie Moore going in. A great save. And a nice shot. And oh, Bauer. Tremendous on Dickie Moore and pocket Richard. You'll never see a bang-bang play betterly executed and betterly defended against than that by Bauer.
He stopped the original shot by Moore. Henry Richard coming in, playing the rebound perfectly, and he just couldn't beat Bauer, who dropped to the ice. And as a matter of fact, Bauer seems to have spent as much time on the flat of his back tonight as he has standing up. He's been terrific.
Back to the point to Harvey. Harvey clearing it in, and the Leafs starting out. Brewer couldn't get anywhere. He missed the second. Jeffrey on. Now Jeffrey on ran into Bond. And Brewer starts out. A pass to Fulford. Down on the line to Olmsted. He sent it to right in front. They score! Ronnie Stewart. Ronnie Stewart going in a mile a minute on that pass from Olmsted. Was just able to catch up with it and sort of deflect it into the net. Ronnie Stewart, Brewer and Olmsted getting the assist. So it's tied at 1-1. And these passing play. They announced Brian Cullen, but it's Ronnie Stewart. We will have a correction on that.
Stewart. Assisté de Olmsted et Paul First. Le temps, 11 minutes, 41 secondes. Toronto goal scored by Ron Stewart, assist to Olmsted and Fulford. The time, 11 minutes and 41 seconds.
Now the lead's coming out. Olmsted at center, cleared it into Ronnie Stewart. Stewart is knocked down by Jeffrey off on the wing. It's Turner clearing it to center, and Brewer stepping away from Backstrom. Turner gets the puck, played it on the boards. And it's tied 1-1 here in the second period. Leafs at center, Armstrong coming down with Fulford. Couldn't get by Turner. And this time, Bond starting away on the left wing, cleared it on the boards ahead, and Harvey has it for Montreal. Stewart apparently hurt his ankle when he fell on that rush after getting the goal. He's behind the Leaf bench. Seems to be favoring his ankle. Now it's still Goyette. Down with Jeffrey on. The pass hit Duff's skate. Horton clearing it ahead to Duff. Jeffrey on for the Canadiens. He's knocked down by Clayton. Gets the pass to Talbot, and since that fine goal, the checking has become fairly close. Now Armstrong coming out over the line with Clayton at center. Armstrong in on the right side, takes the shot. Blanc knocks it to Johnson. Johnson starting up on the right wing, couldn't get out against Duff. Number 14 for Montreal, Provo. Slapped it behind the net. Here's Andre Pronovo clearing it on the boards to center. And Stanley fired it to Horton on the other side, and the Leafs are keeping the Canadiens bottled up in their own zone at this juncture. Now there's a loose puck to Dickie Duff, turning in the corner, trying to center it. Still has it on the boards. And Johnson for Montreal knocks off his stick down the ice, and Stanley beats Provo to the punch. We have exactly 6 minutes remaining in the second period with the score tied 1-1, Toronto 1, Montreal 1. Billy Hers couldn't handle that pass. Talbot up on the left wing. Pronovo missed his check as the Leafs clear it in. Now it's Johnson. Teams are changing as the play goes on. A pass intercepted by Mahovlich. Here's Mahovlich stick handling. He's knocked down by Johnson. Canadiens starting out on the line. Gave out the play by Hires, who dropped it to Brewer. Here's Brewer coming in, and the pass went off Eamon's skate. Horton recovers. His shot knocked down by Talbot, who cleared it on the board. And Tom Johnson out at center to the Toronto line. The shot, the rebound, and it's Brewer cutting in around the net. Brewer on the board, jammed out of the play by Phil Goyette, recovered by Hires. Hires down on the right side, across his line with Eamon and Mahovlich. In over the Montreal line, and Hires almost get in there. He played it back to Brewer, number 18. Into the corner. Here's Billy Hires, knocked down by Harvey. And they're on top of the puck, and the play is stopped. Fulford shot from the draw, way wide. Turner up to the point. Bond slapped it back in. Stewart apparently didn't suffer anything of a serious nature because he's back on there now with Fulford and Olmsted. The pocket Richard trying to get away. Stewart cleared it on the boards. Bonnet is bodied, and the pocket picks up the loose puck. A pass to Dickie Moore. Back to Henry Richard, and he couldn't hold it as he got in front. That was a neat passing play by the pocket and Moore. Bonnet trying to center it. Stewart coming out. A wing pass. Fulford couldn't get it. Now it's Henry Richard coming in on the line again. Dropped it to Moore. Bonnet lost his stick. Moore gets the shot, and it comes out, and Harvey working on the right side. Decides to try again. Pass intercepted by Pulford. To the Canadian line. The shot. Grab shoulder high. Plant firing it to the corner. Olmsted in against Moore and Harvey. And Henry Richard. Loses it to Olmsted. And Olmsted almost found the corner. Armstrong shoots. And it's knocked down by Turner. Turner to Henry Richard. Couldn't get anywhere against Armstrong. And the Leafs clear it back into the Canadian zone. 3 minutes, 35 seconds remaining. Leafs break up another play. Armstrong tipping it in. Now it's Creighton to Armstrong. A backhand drive, a loose puck in front of the net. And Turner just cleared it in time. Brewer fired it back into the corner. And again, the Leafs have the Canadians hemmed in. Dickey Duff to Vicky Moore. Duff missed Moore's check. Henry Richard takes the pass, and 3 Leafs converge on him at center. Duff firing it back in, bumps Harvey in on the board. Duff backhands it to the corner. Talbot clearing it to the other side, and again it's Duff. He seems to be all over the ice. Armstrong is after Bonnet. Harvey laying it on the boards to Moore. Ahead to Henry Richard. In on the right side, the shot, the rebound. Oh, Bauer came out. They scored, no good. No goal, the whistle had gone. And we have, let's see, about 2 minutes and 45 seconds remaining in the second period. The puck goes in among the spectators, so they'll have to do it all over again. So when Bauer come out to cover up on that rebound, Carl Brewer, getting back to assist him, went flying into the air to the corner. He seemed to hit Bauer on the head. Billy Hers to Eamon on the right side. Over to Hers. Hers in the corner, backhands it, and Plant grabs it with Eamon. And Mahavlich right in on his doorstep. Toronto Maple Leafs won. Montreal Canadiens won near the end of the second period. Stanley and Horton are playing up. On the face-off, Talbot, 17, cuts around the net. Goes off the boards to Geoffrion, who just got it out over the line. Now here's Mahavlich coming in with Eamon, takes the shot himself, and the rebound picked up by number 10, Johnson, around the net from the corner. A pass goes to Backstrom at center. Over on the right side to Geoffrion, but he failed to take it in with him. Mahavlich, 27, in on the right side. He goes one way, the puck the other. Mahavlich lost his stick against Talbot. The Canadians are coming back. Puck rolls to the corner. Geoffrion and Harris mix it up. Now Demon on the other side. Ab McDonald takes it from him. McDonald trying to center it. Jammed over the play by Eamon, and Horton has it. Now McDonald again. Trying to work in front. Gives it to Backstrom. A backhand drive. A bouncing puck cleared into the corner by Horton. Eamon on the boards against McDonald. Somebody breaks his stick at Eamon. Here's McDonald trying to get inside. And a great play by Horton. Pirates with the puck for Toronto. A long pass on the left side to Mahavlich. Mahavlich centers it across the goal mouth. And the Canadians. Backstrom at center. In on the line, a drop pass to Geoffrion. He shoots, juggled, and then grabbed as it fell to his feet by Bauer.
And a familiar sight, Johnny Bauer taking a long shot on the pads, letting the rebound drop at his feet, and then falling for flunk right on top and halting any possibility of a further rebound. Bauer having a good night, and the Maple Leafs now coming on strongly after scoring that goal to tie the game at 1-1. They have played their best hockey of the game in the last 5 or 6 minutes. The scoring 1-1 on goals for Canadians by Tom Johnson, for the Leafs, Ron Stewart.
Goyette is at center for Canadians, who rolls to the goal mouth on the faceoff. Provo and Zonovo on the wings. Brewer fell down, got the pass to Pulford, who ran into Langlois. They stopped as Langlois got the puck caught up in his trousers. And the face-off outside the Canadian blue line. We have 1 minute and 9 seconds remaining in the second period. Olmsted clearing it ahead. 1 minute remaining as Provo comes to center. The long shot. Bauer tucks it to Olmsted. Olmsted on the board, jammed out of the play. He turns for yet around. Penalty here, I believe. Olmsted will get the gate. Canadians are still in possession. Provo gives it to Doug Harvey. He starts in on the wing. A right wing pass to Pronovo. Olmsted going off, likely for holding. Bert Olmsted was with the Canadiens last year when they won their third consecutive Stanley Cup. And Canadians this year are looking for an unprecedented achievement to win the Stanley Cup 4 years in a row.
Toronto penalty, Bert Olmsted. 2 minutes for holding. The time, 19 minutes and 25 seconds.
19 minutes and 25 seconds, the time of the holding penalty to Olmsted in the second period. Maurice Richard on right wing. The younger Richard, pocket at center. Moore left wing. Geoffrion on the right point. Johnson over on the other side. Stanley rolled it out over the line. Johnson back after it. 30 seconds remaining as Geoffrion at center ice to the leaf line. Digs into the corner, puts on the brakes, takes the shot, and it's grabbed neatly by Bauer, who said something to Moore, apparently, as Moore skated across his crease looking for the rebound. 22 seconds left in the second period. Ronnie Stewart is coming out, and Creighton comes off. Fulford on, and Armstrong off for the Leafs. Score tied 1-1. The Leafs are shorthanded. Olmsted in the penalty box. Moore again said something toward Bauer. Stewart gets the draw, picks the opening, and you can see the reason for Imlock putting Stewart out there. Easy cleared it out. Now the Canadians back. A long pass. Intercepted by Fulford, has cleared it back to the Canadian line, and now there are 8 seconds remaining as Johnson clears to Moore. In it goes, and Stanley is there to get it. And Canadians won't have another rush because we have 2 seconds remaining. The period is over. And score time. 1-1 at the end of 2.
So just before we start, it's 1-1 at the end of 2 periods, going into the final regular period, and here is Danny.
Canadians with the Richards and Moores, the forward line, and Geoffrion back at the point. He has the puck now, number 5, and Johnson is the other points man. Stewart and Fulford playing up for the Leafs on defense, Stanley and Horton. Leafs get possession at center and clears back to the Montreal line. Johnson leaves it for Henry Richard. Coming down on the left side to the Toronto line. In on the left wing. Puts on the brakes. Now it goes to Maurice Richard. Back to Geoffrion. Geoffrion is working in on the right side. He turns around, a backhand drive. And there are 55 seconds remaining in the penalty. There's Johnson at the point. The shot right on. Moore for Canadians, centering it in front, and Stanley knocks it away. Horton gives it to Fulford, who cleared it down the ice. And back for it for Canadians. Geoffrion. Geoffrion around the net. Up on the wing it goes to Henry Richard. Down with the rocket and Moore. Geoffrion is trailing. A drop pass to Moore, and he couldn't come up with it. And Fulford backhands it down the ice, and there are 25 seconds remaining in the penalty. Now Geoffrion goes off, and Talbot is on. Maurice Richard down on the right side to the Toronto line. Fakes the shot. Now he's getting behind the player, gives it to Moore. And it goes off to the corner. Horton lobbed it high in the air. Johnson back. Olmsted getting set to come back on, and the penalty now has expired as Creighton takes Johnson in on the boards in the corner. Talbot kicks it to the pocket. Henry Richard swinging away from Creighton. Lost it, recovered by Talbot. Now Talbot out over the line. A long pass to the pocket. In on the Toronto line. Puts on the brakes. A pass hits Armstrong in on the boards with Moore. Now Bonnet fails to center it out, and Armstrong starting out on the right wing with Dickie Duffer takes the pass at center to the Canadian line on the right side, going toward the corner. Turner after him. And Moore on the board, gets it back to the point. Bond couldn't keep it in. Cleared it to Brewer, number 18. Brewer fails to shoot it ahead. Finally, on the boards, Bonin to Harvey. Just takes his time. A pass to Turner. Turner out on the line to center to Bonin on the left wing to Henry Richard. The pocket trying to cut in. He centered it, and Brewer was there for the Leafs. Now Bonin stopped Brewer. Bonin centering it across, and the pocket failed to deflect it on the net. Now the Leafs. Creighton clearing the pass. Bonin starts back in on the line quickly. He's bodied by Bobby Bond. Bond works it out with his skate. Creighton's pass grabbed by Provo. A shot shoulder high, and Bauer dropped it to Bond. Now the Canadiens are making changes as the play goes on. And we are in the third period with the score tied at a goal apiece. Now here's still Goyette over to Provo. Provo going in for the shot, and Brewer down. Made the save to Armstrong to Creighton. Creighton at center on the left wing to the Canadian line. Turns around, backhands it in. Right on. And Harvey for Canadians. Eamon is after him. Knocked it off Harvey's stick. Provo, Canadians, a pass intended for Pronovo, and he couldn't make contact. Bobby Bond away for the Leafs at center with Eamon, who takes the pass, a bouncing pass. Couldn't control it, and it's Pronovo for the Canadians. He's having difficulty. Pronovo back to Harvey. Into center ice. Goyette and Pronovo both missed it, and it's Brewer, number 18, up on the wing to Mahavlich. And again, the checking is getting very close. Harris backhands it in toward the corner. Provo around the net, and now the Leafs are making changes as the play goes on, and we've played exactly 4 minutes. There's a shot by Eamon. And that was screened, and Claude had to move quickly. Now Eamon again around the net, trying to center it. He lost it. Turner. Mahavlich is after him. Here's Turner. Knocked down. Gets up again. Goyette, a pass out intended for Pronovo. Fails to click. Horton is shot right on. Harvey into the corner. Provo on the right side. His pass goes awry. Horton clearing it back, and the Canadians having difficulty getting out. Now they're out. To the line. A pass to Goyette. He's jammed out of the play. Horton playing it up to Mahavlich. Down with Horton. Cross the line, Mahavlich in sharply. He passed it. And Claude had to get a pad on it in the short side. There's Harris of the Leafs on the boards. Goes to the other corner to Provo. Provo flipped it out front, and Harvey for the Canadiens with Pronovo and Provo to the Leaf line. Harvey back at the point, shoots it to Provo, and he scores! What a play by Doug Harvey. He made the play all the way, took his time, gave it to Provo, and Provo with that great shot of his beat Bauer. Frank, I think it was Jim Trimble was talking about the same Mr. Harvey.
Jim is quite a football coach, and he'd make a pretty good hockey coach, because he really picked one when he picked Harvey. He is a hockey player capable of playing really tremendous hockey.
Now the Leafs behind 2-1. It's Bond, a long shot. Off front, he wasn't too sure on that one. Now Jeffrey on. Out over the line. Comes down and back from the McDonald to the Leaf line to McDonald working into the corner to Jeffrey on going in and goal. And Bauer, a scintillating save. Now they're bodying each other, Jeffrey on and Bond. Puck goes off from the left wing to Olmstead. He's up with Fulford to the Canadian line. Olmstead flicked it off the boards. And Talbot laid it on the left wing boards to McDonald. Pass knocked down at center. Fulford fired it in among the spectators as he tried to clear it into the Canadian zone. Montreal 2, Toronto 1 in the third period.
And the scoring play, Claude Provo with playoff goal number 5 on a brilliant assist by Doug Harvey at 5:02 of the third period. And Canadians lead it 2-1 as we head into the final stretch of this second playoff game.
Creighton goes to center for the Leafs. Armstrong and Duff on the wings. No change for Montreal. Duff to Horton. Horton swinging away, gets the pass away. Geoffrion takes over, back to Johnson. Up on the right side, it slides into Toronto territory. And this time it's Dickie Duff, who's having a great series. He couldn't get out that time. Passed by Backstrom out over the line. Tom Johnson at center, shooting it in. A bouncing shot. Bauer leaves it for Horton. Horton taking his time, waiting for a player to get in position, apparently. Now it's Creighton who takes the pass. Out over the line. A long left wing pass to Dickie Duff. He's going in. And with one hand on the stick as he fell, his shot went around the net. Now Canadiens out at center ice, and Stanley broke it up. It's Talbot coming down. Going in on the left side, and Stanley got in there, but Talbot veered it behind the net. Here comes Alan Stanley on the left wing for the Leafs at center into Canadian territory. On the board, still has it, passes it to the point to Horton, going in for the shot, and Clark didn't see it and hit his pad. Now, penalty here. Geoffrion, I believe, for high sticking. So Geoffrion going off. And Jacques Plante taking a deep breath, looking on at the ringside seat fans as they get set for the face-off to his left. The Leafs, every man up. They have Mahovely, Geeman, Olmstead, Brewer, and Stewart. The puck goes out over the line. Turner and Marshall, penalty killers for the Canadiens. And Johnson and Harvey on defense. Mahovlich at center ice. Rolled it in, Plante out of the net. Marshall watching on Mahovlich. They jam in on the boards. Eamon clears it, and Johnson to Turner. Turner overskated it. Now Johnny Marshall. Finally, Tom Johnson picking his way out. On the right side, he rolled it to Brewer at the Leafs defense. Brewer back to the Canadian line. He runs into Harvey. They both go down. Mahovlich over to Olmstead. Back to Ronnie Stewart, the shot into the corner. Olmstead, number 16 for the Leafs. He's knocked down by Johnson. Johnson trying to hold it with his skate on the boards. He succeeded as Harvey and Mahovlich, who collided just inside the Canadian line, started to get fixed up with each other at the side of the net. And we have 1 minute and 10 seconds remaining in the penalty to Geoffrion. Armstrong coming on to take over for Stewart. So Armstrong on the right point. Canadiens 2 and the Leafs 1. Mahovlich saying something to Advari. Marshall moves in for the face-off. Leafs keeping it in. Now it's Tom Johnson on the board, scooping it out to Marshall. Marshall turns around, played it back to Harvey. Harvey off the boards to Turner. Back to Harvey, and again they have that defensive pattern going off the boards to Turner. Turner taking his time. Still has it on the boards. Finally, the Leafs get it with Brewer coming in. Brewer runs into Harvey, knocked down, and Johnson cleared it down the ice. Back for it for the Leafs. Armstrong dropping up behind the net with 30 seconds remaining in the penalty. Eamon starting out. Eamon ahead to Mahovlich. Knocked down by a Harvey, and they have a private belting feud going on. Marshall cleared it down. And we have 15 seconds remaining in the penalty. Canadiens 2 and the Leafs 1. Nearing the 9th minute mark in this, the third period. The Leafs. Brewer coming in. He's hopping in there, and Plante out of the net. Gave it to Marshall. Now Pulford cleared it. Penalty has expired, and Geoffrion getting a break in on goal. He's going right in on goal. Shoots it all. Bauer got in front of it. And it went off to the wing. A great save by Bauer. Tremendous save by Bauer as Geoffrion out of the penalty box got a clear break in. Leafs clearing it in. Plante knocks it to the corner. It's Harvey with Pulford after him. Now Provo playing it ahead to Henry Richard with Bonin, number 18, back to the pocket. In on the right side, fakes the shot, centered it right in front. Now it's Bonet turning around. Back to Dickie Moore. Backhand drive. A scramble in front of the net. Bauer down on his back. Holds it out. No Price. On for the first time. Gets a charging penalty as he took Marshall into the boards. No Price. Charging. We have 40 seconds left in the third period. Next game in this series will be Tuesday night at Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto. .19 minutes and 20 seconds. A charging penalty to Price. Ray Ohm of the Leafs. The right wing pass. Barry Cullen couldn't get it away from Marshall. Down with Goyette and Provo across the Leaf line. Marshall taking his time. The shot is stopped by Ray Ohm. Ray Ohm ahead to Brian Cullen. At center, across the Canadiens line, going in on the left side, and Plot cleared it to Johnson. Now there are 14 seconds remaining. Canadiens starting out slowly. Provo, number 14, he has scored 2 goals. Backhands one off the boards. Bauer hooked it around the net. Now there are 4 seconds to go as Goyette and Ray Ohm bump. Now Goyette gets it. The game is over. And Canadiens defeat the Leafs 3-1. And Talbot congratulating Plante. So does Provo and Goyette. Plante came up with some key saves in that third period particularly.
And he was tested plenty in the third period. The Maple Leafs had 16 shots in the final 20 minutes to 15 by the Canadiens. But the big one came to the sticks of Claude Provo, his 5th goal of the playoffs and his 6th. And he broke the hearts of the Maple Leafs just as Johnny Bauer had been breaking the hearts of the Canadiens through most of the game.
3 exciting games that we brought you from April. Game 7 against the Boston Bruins.
It's Mahovlich coming down alone. Going over the line. A pass to Eman. He shoots. He scores! Eman! Scores for the Leafs. Eman picked the bottom right-hand corner.
And in Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Final, it was Marcel Bonin providing the game-winning goal.
Now Doug Harvey rushing for the Canadiens in fast on the right side. A pass to Pocket Richard, a backhand drive, he scores!
And in Game 2, it was Claude Provo scoring the second of his goals in the game to clinch it for Montreal.
Provo flipped it out front, and Harvey for the Canadiens with Provo and Provo to the Leaf line. Harvey back at the point, shoots it to Provo, and scores!
Canadiens take a 2-0 lead in the Stanley Cup Final, April 11th, 1959. You're watching Molson Canadian Sunday Night Classic.
Again, because 2 of the next 3 games could be in Montreal, and Montreal was, virtually unbeatable at home. So.
And a 5-game series, the Leafs lose. But after 1959, the pieces very much have been put in place for a tremendous run through the 60s.
Well, Imlach had figured out